There is a word that has followed you everywhere you have ever been, every classroom, every first date, every job interview. Every time someone called your name across a crowded room, something inside you responded, automatically, instantly, without thought. That word is so familiar you barely even hear it anymore. But here is the part nobody talks about. The ancient world believed that word was not just a label, it was a key, a map of who you were and who you would become. Priests in Egypt kept their true name locked away like a secret weapon. Celtic warriors gave themselves names in battles so powerful they believed enemies would crumble just hearing them. And the Hebrew tradition taught that a name was not what you were called, it was what you were called to be. Now here is the thing that stopped me cold when I first found this. Modern psychology has quietly started proving them right. By the end of this video, you are going to look at your own name completely differently. And I need you to remember that feeling, because we are going to come back to it. Let's start with the science, because this is where it gets genuinely strange. In 2002, psychologist Brett Pelham at the State University of New York ran a series of studies on something called implicit egotism, the idea that people are unconsciously attracted to things that resemble themselves. What he found sounds almost too weird to be real. People named Dennis are statistically overrepresented among dentists. People named Lawrence cluster disproportionately in cities called Lawrence. People with names beginning in K donate more often to Hurricane Katrina relief than Hurricane Rita. Simply because their name starts with K, the data was clear. Your name subtly bends the direction of your life, often without your conscious knowledge. Now researchers debate the exact size of this effect. But even the skeptics agree on one thing. Names are not neutral. They carry weight. They carry expectation. And your brain has been shaped by your name since before you could form a single memory. But here's where things get interesting, because the psychology goes much deeper than career choices. Psychologists call it the name-letter effect, and here is the core idea. People tend to prefer the letters in their own name over other letters. It sounds trivial until you realize what that means. Every time someone hears their name, a tiny hit of positive association fires in the brain. Your name gets tied to your sense of self at the deepest level. Think of it this way. If you grew up being called brilliant by everyone around you, chances are you would start trying to live up to that word. But it works in reverse too. Studies on teacher expectations show that kids with names associated with lower social status receive less encouragement from teachers, even when the teachers have no idea they are doing it. One study had teachers grade identical essays written by students with different names, and the grades were measurably different. Same essay, different name at the top. Your name, in other words, is not just what you are called. It is one of the first stories other people write about you before you can even speak for yourself. And this is where most people make a mistake. They think this only goes one direction. The most important thing about your name is not what other people do with it. It is what you do with it. Your name is the anchor of your self-concept, the mental model you carry around of who you are. And here is the strange, almost uncomfortable truth. You become what you consistently tell yourself you are. Psychologist Roy Baumeister spent decades studying identity and found that the stories people tell about themselves tend to become self-fulfilling. Not because of magic, because of behavior. When you identify as a certain kind of person, you make choices that align with that identity. You notice opportunities that fit it. You filter out evidence that contradicts it. Your name is where that process often starts. It is the word most tightly wrapped around your identity. When someone shortens it without permission, you feel it. When someone mispronounces it repeatedly, you feel that too. When your name finally gets pronounced right by someone who usually gets it wrong, you notice. Because your name is not just a convenience for other people, it is yours. Now this next part might surprise you, because the ancient world understood this better than we do. Let's go back to those ancient naming traditions, because I want you to look at them differently now. Not as primitive superstition, but as early attempts to explain something real. In ancient Egypt, a person had 5 names, each representing a different layer of their identity. But the most important was the Ren, the true name, the one that contained their essence. This name was so powerful that if an enemy erased it from stone carvings and monuments, they believed it could destroy you. Erase a person's name, erase the person. Sound familiar? Because modern research on identity shows exactly that. Strip someone of their name, as was done to enslaved people across history, as is done in cults and authoritarian systems, and you attack the self directly. The Japanese tradition of Kodadama holds that words and names carry a living spiritual energy. The Hebrew concept of Shem goes even further, suggesting your name is not descriptive but prescriptive. It tells you what you are here to do. These are not random beliefs across unconnected cultures. They are different languages pointing at the same thing. So why does this matter? Because there is something these traditions knew that psychology is only now putting numbers on. Multiple traditions across the ancient world practiced the concept of a secret name, a name known only to yourself or perhaps one trusted person. In Norse lore, Odin himself had dozens of names he gave to different people, revealing different aspects of himself depending on the situation. Knowing someone's true name, the tradition held, gave you power over them. This sounds like mythology until you pair it with modern identity psychology. Here is what researchers have found. The labels other people attach to you can alter your behavior, even when you disagree with them. It is called the labeling effect. If enough people in your environment treat you as irresponsible, studies show you start behaving more irresponsibly, not because you are, but because the label creates a self-fulfilling expectation. The ancient solution was elegant. If names carry power, protect your real one. Keep the deepest version of yourself out of reach of those who might misuse it. Now, we might translate that today as protecting your inner narrative. Being careful about the story that other people write about you, refusing to let someone else's label become your identity. But here's where things get interesting. Because the flip side of this is one of the most powerful tools in modern psychology. There is a technique that top-performing athletes, CEOs, and therapists all use in different forms, and it maps almost perfectly onto ancient name magic. It is called self-distancing, and the simplest version of it goes like this. Instead of saying, "I am nervous," you say, "Your name is nervous." Instead of, "I need to do better," you say, "David needs to do better." Psychologist Ethan Kross at the University of Michigan ran experiments on this and found something remarkable. When people used their own name to refer to themselves in stressful situations, their performance improved, their anxiety dropped, their decision-making got sharper. Because using your name creates just enough psychological distance from the emotion that you can observe it instead of drowning in it. The ancient idea of name magic, that speaking your name with intention could focus your power, turns out to have a neurological basis. Language shapes thought. The words you use to refer to yourself literally alter how your brain processes your experiences. What the ancients called invoking your true name, we now call self-referential language processing. Same phenomenon, different vocabulary. Now this next part might surprise you because the power of naming goes in both directions. Here's an experiment you can run tonight at dinner. Use the name of every person at the table, deliberately, more than you normally would. Watch what happens. People sit up a little straighter, they make slightly more eye contact. They feel, without knowing why, like they matter more in that conversation. Dale Carnegie wrote about this in the 1930s when he said a person's name is the sweetest sound in any language. We used to think that was just a persuasion trick. Now we know it is neurological. Hearing your own name activates a specific pattern of brain regions associated with self-referential processing, the same regions that light up when you look in a mirror. Your brain treats the sound of your name as a representation of you. This is why great leaders, great teachers, and great friends all share one habit. They remember your name and they use it. Not as a trick, as an act of recognition, as proof that you exist, that you registered, that you matter. In a world where most people feel invisible, being called by your name is one of the oldest and most potent forms of acknowledgement that exists. So why does this matter? Because once you understand what names actually do, you can start using that knowledge intentionally. Some of the most powerful moments in human history have involved a name change. Saul becomes Paul, Cassius Clay becomes Muhammad Ali, Malcolm Little becomes Malcolm X, Norma Jean Baker becomes Marilyn Monroe. These were not just rebranding decisions, they were identity declarations, a statement to the world and to themselves, "I am no longer who you thought I was." In psychology, this is called identity reconstruction, deliberately rewriting the narrative you hold about yourself. And a name is one of the most potent levers available for doing that. In indigenous traditions across North America, earning a new name was a rite of passage, a recognition that a person had changed so fundamentally that their old name no longer fit. You did not receive a new name because you wanted one. You received it because you had become someone new. We see echoes of this in modern therapy too. Some practitioners of narrative therapy encourage clients to externalize problems by naming them, giving the anxiety or the depression a separate identity, distinct from the person. When you name something, you separate yourself from it. You create the space to see it clearly instead of being consumed by it. And this is where we come full circle. Back to the question I planted at the beginning of this video. Here is the question worth sitting with. Not what does my name mean in the dictionary sense, but what has your name been telling you about yourself? What expectations came packaged with it? What story did other people start writing about you the moment they heard it? And here is the more important question: do you still agree with that story? Because the power of your name works in both directions. Yes, it shapes you. Yes, it influences how others see you. But you are not a passive participant in that process. The self-concept is not fixed. Identity is not a thing you find. It is a thing you build, revise, and sometimes rebuild from the ground up. The ancient world understood that names carry power. Modern psychology is proving that the mechanism is real. But neither the ancients nor the scientists can decide what to do with that knowledge. That part belongs to you. Your name was given to you by someone else, but what you do with it has always been yours. The ancients tried to protect that truth, and modern psychology keeps rediscovering it. Your name is not just what you are called, it is part of how you call yourself into being. If you found yourself thinking about your own name differently during this video, that is exactly where the real work begins. Drop your name in the comments and tell me one thing you think it says about you. And if you want to go deeper into the psychology of identity and self-concept, the video right there is the perfect next step. Like this one if it made you think, and subscribe if you want more of this kind of content, because we are just getting started.